Ooh, ugly indeed. Shalom out there. If anybody listening. Shalom out there. All right, we're going to get into it. Yeah, I see y'all on that now. All right. Salakia. Moving a little slow, but we about to get it rolling. All right. Yeah. Hey, shalom, everybody. All right. All praise to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect. All right. And the title of this is It's Getting Ugly Out Here. And talking about the climate, the life, in general. And this picture is the actual person off TikTok. I don't know exactly what kind of channel she has, but she threw. And I just used the picture because brothers, put it up on the chat. And I laughed about it. And then as I was trying to get the title for the lesson, I said I would use, the climate of the world is getting ugly out here. So, hey, you see it. You see the correlation. Anyway, with no further ado, let's get into the scriptures, and then we got a lot of news. I'm going to do this one a little bit different. I actually don't have NBC nightly news, but I got a few clippings from NBC News. Let's first go over here. You know what? First thing, let's get this comment board up. Let's do that. If we can. Get this comment board up. Let's do that. If we can. Get this comment board up. All right. Let's do it. Yeah, I figured get caught up a little bit on the news and, go from there. Everybody laughing at that joint. Joint through, ain't she? Finish. Two types of ugly. Burning instead of beauty. Apostle Gabar there. All right, so first, let's go and grab a scripture because it's a lot going on in the world. Different things going on. The war in Ukraine is going on. They had a major earthquake in Afghanistan. So let's just get into it. You got athletes dropping dead with no cause of death. Some people also getting killed, murdered, different things. All right. And I was watching Elder Hawad in the news. And, man, I got inspired. The brother was on fire. He did excellent work. And I got inspired to go ahead on and go and dig and find some news to get into. So let's do that first. This is 2 Ezra chapter 8, verse 50 says, For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. And the Most High sees the pride on the earth. You have to imagine that he's not happy about it, of course, right? Let's also go over here and get let's get a scripture over here. I want to go ahead and read Proverbs chapter 1. Because this is the problem. The prophets are out on the highways and hedges preaching the gospel. So many of our people are not taking heed, and they just dropping off the earth, man. The Most High just killing them up. This is Proverbs 1, verse 20. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. And that's the whole point. We're out there on the highways and the hedges where wisdom is in front of everybody. And we're yelling out to the people, how long will you love simplicity? To the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And we going and preaching the word the way you're supposed to do it. We ain't going and showing up at people's churches. All right. We ain't doing that. We're fishing like the Lord said we would do. I will make you to become fishers of men. Verse 23, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. How? Through the Holy Spirit, through the prophets. Because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded, but ye have set at naught all my counsel with none of my reproof. And they don't want to listen to the counsel of the Lord, which are the prophets. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. And the Lord is saying it. You're going to be seeking the Lord when this thing, because right now you just got little plagues. You got some deaths happening, but wait till the Lord brings Jacob's trouble. Then people are going to be trying to find the Lord, and it's going to be too late, because now he's got the prophets out there preaching, teaching, trying to get you to repent, and you won't do it. Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They were none of my Salakia. They were none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. And people hate the word of the Lord. Whether people want to believe it or not, our people are notorious for doing lip service. They say they love the Most High, but they really don't. They were none of my counsel. They despise all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. And you're going to have to deliver yourself, and the times is coming if you don't repent. And you're not going to be able to deliver yourself. It goes on. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them. Turning away from what? Turning away from the gospel. Turning away from repentance. Turning away from the chance at eternal life. Turning away from the Almighty. Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. That's one side. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely and shall be quiet from fear of evil. And that's the elect. So let's get right into it. First, I'm going to go to, let's see here. Let's look at it. Oh, man. Let me bring that back up. There was a player that died. Let's see if I could get it up. I lost it. Let's go to this right here. All right. Because you had a well-known player. This is the guy right here, Tony Saragusa. I just found out about this one just as I was setting up to do this. He dropped dead, right? Let's see if we can bring an article up on it. And then you had another guy, Jalen Ferguson from the Baltimore Ravens. He also died, like a third-year player. This is him right here, Baltimore Ravens linebacker Jalen Ferguson dies at age 26. Baltimore Ravens linebacker Jalen Ferguson died at 26. The team announced Wednesday. That's him right there. We are profoundly saddened by the tragic passing of Jalen Ferguson. He was a kind and respectful young man with a big smile. Y'all know the whole routine, right? That's one dude that dropped dead. We also had Tony Saragusa. Let's go over here. And they said they found no cause of death in Jalen Ferguson's death. All right, this right here, Tony Saragusa, Super Bowl champion defensive lineman, dead at 55. That's a young age. Tony Saragusa won a Super Bowl title with the Ravens during the 2000 season. See? And I'm trying to see if they had a cause of death. I'm heartbroken, blah, blah, blah. And he was kind of overweight. He was a big dude, man. He was 6'3", probably 300 pounds. That's Tony Saragusa right there. He was a good football player when he played, Anyway, you can do your own research on it. You might want to, find out what's going on with that. There was also another basketball player that died. Let's see, a basketball player. Let's see. Let's see if we can find that. Because the Lord is taking, this is him right here. This dude's name was Caleb Swanigan, former Purdue basketball star and first-round draft pick, dies at 25. The Portland Trail Blazers drafted Caleb Swanigan in 2017. He also played for the Sacramento Kings. See? And I don't know if they say he died of natural causes. And that's bullshit. 25, you don't die of natural causes because it's not natural. And you can speculate all you want. More than likely what dude died from. Let's also go get a video. We get a video. Another player died, but he got shot. Just hold on here. Right here. We're gonna play this.
John Diaz joins us live now with a reaction. John?
Let me get my earphones out. Yeah, y'all put them scriptures up dealing with death. Because judgment, you know what I'm saying? Judgment is pouring all out. And you notice, and Tony Saragusa was Italian. He more than likely probably was a Jake. Can't say for sure, but them other 3 guys, or 2 guys, you know they was Jakes. Let's go ahead and play this here. Check this out.
Good afternoon. I'm Chris Raggi.
And I'm Mary. Calvi now on CBS 2 and streaming on CBS News New York. Gun violence breaks out in East Harlem, and one of the victims is a star athlete. Several others are hurt.
Now, we've learned the mass shooting stemmed from a fight on the set of a rap video that was being shot during a barbecue in a park. CBS.
2 quick things. As I don't remember which brother was bringing that out, but now when Jake been shooting each other up in the hoods for all these many years, and they never called it mass shootings. Now every time Jake shoot, they say mass shootings. See, that's clever words from the enemy, trying to make you the face of the mass shooting, trying to include all the shootings in the hood. So it's all about the gun control.
And I'm Mary. Calvi now on CBS 2 and streaming on CBS.
Also, too, the second thing is that they mentioned rap music. This is on the set of a rap video. Check this out.
New York. Gun violence breaks out in East Harlem, and one of the victims is a star athlete. Several others are hurt.
Now, we've learned the mass shooting stemmed from a fight on the set of a rap video that was being shot during a barbecue in a park. CBS News' John Diaz joins us live now with a reaction. John?
Chris and Mary, well, this victim's former basketball coach telling me that he was a good kid, that he must have been in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he was home here in Harlem for the summer visiting from college.
He's someone that everyone would root for. Like, he's a hometown hero.
At just 21 years old, promising college basketball player Darius Lee's life came to a tragic end. Fatally shot while attending a barbecue along the Harlem River that went on into early Monday morning. It's the same neighborhood he grew up in, but it was at St. Raymond High School for boys in the Bronx where he also made his mark.
I coached high school basketball for a long time. You run into certain kids that you say, yo, I would love for my son to be like that.
For his former coach, Chris Williams, Lee was that player. He says the college senior got a full ride to Houston Baptist University. He was supposed to graduate in December.
Beyond highlights, Darius was an incredible young man. Like, basketball doesn't really do him justice. Special kid. Real special kid.
Police say Lee was one of 9 people shot at the barbecue that turned into a mass shooting. Everyone else is expected to survive. This man heard the gunshots as they echoed loud along the Harlem River Drive and West 139th Street.
Many in rapid succession, around 40 or 50 shots in such a short span of time.
Then he said he saw almost 100 people flee, running like a stampede.
There was a lot of screaming and running at the same time in all directions. Some of them almost getting hit by cars.
Police say this gun was recovered at the scene, but it's unclear if it's one of the weapons used to carry out the mass shooting.
The emboldened individuals responsible for this are exactly who our officers are battling every day to make our city safe.
Homicides in New York City are down compared to last year, 189 so far this year, but this time last year there were 218. Still, neighbors are outraged.
These are people's lives. Everybody's life is valuable, and there's no reason to take another person's life.
Now, police are still trying to figure out how many shooters were actually involved in this mass shooting. They have yet to make any arrests, and they are turning now to the community for some help. They say that if you know of any information, to get in contact with them. We're live this afternoon from East Harlem. John Diaz, CBS 2 News.
So right there, in just the first few minutes, we already chronicled or listed how many athletes dead. See, rappers and athletes, man. The Most High ain't playing around. So you got Tony Saragusa, that dude Jalen, whatever his name was, had this college ball player. See? And another dude also dropped dead. Another ball player. See? So you got a lot going on. Let's see what else we got. Hold on, y'all. Just hold on. Well, so while we on here, I want to play you another video. Not able to stop this sound. Hold on. All right. So this is obviously two rappers, hip hop artists in 2022. You know, we're going to be all over the place, but you can keep bringing the scriptures out about death because these people deserve death, man. The motherfuckers going to do a lot more killing. And suddenly it's like the new thing is this drag. So this artist, Tiger and YG, they doing this abominable act right here. Let me let you check it out.
Calabasas forever. Can't stand up, hey. Whole lot of drink in my right hand. Long list, left 400 the height. Run the bands up, hey. Run the bands up, run the bands up, hey. Run the bands up, run the bands up. Calabasas forever.
And see, really what Jake is doing, they pretending like they're using this stuff as a gimmick, which I can't play no more of that. They pretending like they're using this stuff as a gimmick, but at the end of the day, a lot of Jakes is into that freaky type of shit. You got this other guy over here, and I'm gonna hit some scriptures in a minute. Y'all hold tight here. You got this other guy over here. What's this dude name? You got this guy, Bandman Kivo, got a damn BBL. See? And you can look it up if you want to. This dude basically got a cosmetic surgery. He got a BBL like a woman. And he also got his abs and his, I guess he got his body sculpted. One of these rappers. See, that's why the Most High is tired of these rappers. He's getting rid of these because they're perverse. And they push a lot of perverseness. They push a lot of wickedness, man. You know? And I'm going to try not to say man so much. It's one of my things I'm going to try to fix. All right, but let me hit a few of the scriptures because the brothers is loading them down on the comment board. Let's see if we got another. Let's look at Afghanistan first before we do that.
Mobile health and nutrition.
Because there was a big earthquake over there. So this is at least 1,000 dead after 5.9 magnitude earthquake hits Afghanistan. Check it out.
Overnight, a 5.9 magnitude earthquake rocking Afghanistan's southeastern province. At least 1,000 people are dead, more than 1,600 are injured. The Minister of Interior saying those numbers are expected to rise as more information trickles in from remote villages. The search for survivors is underway as some local residents say the quake left them traumatized. It was midnight when the quake struck, said this woman. The kids and I screamed. One of our rooms was destroyed. In Kabul, the Taliban holding an emergency press conference. The Prime Minister sends condolences to the victims' families and those who have been injured in last night's earthquake, said this official, and praises God for granting them paradise. The Taliban government promising around $1,100 to the families of those who've died and $500 to families who've sustained injuries. But the people of Afghanistan were struggling long before the earthquake. Severe drought and the collapse of the economy plagued the country with a high poverty rate and food shortages. A crisis that's gotten worse since the U.S. left and the Taliban took over.
So you hear what they're saying. Everything is falling apart over there in Afghanistan since America left. Now all of a sudden they get hit with a major earthquake and 1,000 people die. You can easily see what's going on, right? After all, it must be time to visit the poppy fields. They must have a big harvest coming in or something. There's something going on. It's all good though.
There's a drought that's happening that's causing significant food insecurity for the people here in Afghanistan. Endemic and pandemic diseases that are affecting people's lives here.
Oh, Lord.
It is a whole, a long list of factors that are making life very difficult here for the Afghan people.
The UN estimates 1.1 million children under the age of 5 could face severe malnutrition this year. NGOs are aiding the recovery effort on the ground.
Well, UNICEF has several mobile health and nutrition teams on the ground at the moment.
But even they admit that giving relief to Afghanistan's more remote villages will be a challenge without sophisticated equipment to support their response. Afghanistan is no stranger to earthquakes. In 1998, an earthquake killed at least 4,500 people in the Northeast. And more deadly earthquakes would follow in 2002, 2005, 2009, 2015, and even earlier this year in 2022. But This earthquake could become Afghanistan's most deadly in more than 20 years. In Vatican City, the Pope mentioning the victims during his weekly general audience.
E prego in particolare per quanti hanno perso la vita e i loro familiari.
I pray in particular for those who've lost their lives and their families, he said. I hope that with everyone's help, the suffering of the Afghan people can be alleviated. A suffering we're only just beginning to understand.
Give me a break. See it? So you got that 1,000 people dead in the earthquake. See, so it's a lot of judgment, a lot of different things going on in the earth. A lot of terrible things going on out there. Let's get to the scriptures now, if we can. Trying to find out where I got it at. All right. So yeah, great scriptures, brothers. The water for posting all these. Right. This is real quick. Man, y'all killing it. I'm gonna try to jump in here and read a few. Good Lord. The water, brothers. All right, so this is GMS Saints of the Most High, Ecclesiastes 9 and 12. For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare. Right. So are the sons of men snared in an evil time when it falleth suddenly upon them. And you got Tony Saragusa died. One guy, Jalen. You had 2 basketball players dead, 1,000 people in Afghanistan. See, death is suddenly coming upon people. And as our elder Hawa was bringing out his lesson, you know, you had a lady that was walking her 2 dogs and lightning struck them. And they died. So you got 2 Ravens players dead right now? And the brother said Ravens symbolize death. That's right. Yep. This is Mosnaim, servant of Yahushua, Job 4 and 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perish being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? Even as I have seen they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. And don't forget, the basketball player in the Bronx died, but 8 other people got shot besides him. A lot of shooting going on out there. Virgin Island Straight Gate, Ecclesiastes 12:13. Who will pity a charmer that has been with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? And the brother put that up because why? You see people dropping dead, and they're always saying they don't know what they died from. We know what they died from. These athletes, they're younger and younger, in their 20s, in the tip-top peak of health, right? They got athletic bodies. Saying this dude died of natural causes in first round draft pick. Yeah, okay. He ain't died of natural causes. He died of some other causes. And you ain't gonna never admit it. But that's because they trusted you devils. And not they didn't trust in the Lord. This is Zakar to Zion, Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. That's right. It's the Almighty doing it, taking people off the planet. Karab Yasharala, Hebrews 10:31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. And you know it. You know that. This is servants of Yahweh, Yahushua, Isaiah 45 and 5. I am the Lord, and there is none else. There is no God beside me. I girded thee, that though thou hast not known me. And the people over there in Afghanistan, what's the main God they worship? You know they worship the moon god, Allah. So, hey, the Most High, he don't take too kindly to that. So he let Esau, either the Most High just brought an earthquake, or he turned the devil loose to use his harp device to destabilize that region even more for some other reason. Or, hey, but it all goes back to the Lord. That they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I am the Lord, and there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. The Almighty. As you see it here, GMS Saints of the Most High, Psalm 68 and 20. He that is our God is the God of salvation, and unto the Most High, the Lord, belong the issues from death. And I see my brother, GMS Through the Fire, brother Tazamak from GMS Memphis. He got the same scripture. Y'all killing it. Anointed refreshings. 2 Ezra 5 and 1. Nevertheless, as it should say, as concerning the tokens, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. And the next verse says, but iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. That's where you get all the rappers and drag, you know, the abominable nature of individuals on the earth. And right now we still in the 6th month. And you know what this month is, right? It's Pride Month. So, hey, no wonder a lot of people dropping dead. Hopefully let behavior. Psalms 9:16, the Lord, Yahweh, is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Higgaion say la. That's right. The Most High is doing it. And then there's a report. This rapper, little TJ, or whatever his name was, he got shot in the Bronx, got rushed to emergency surgery. Don't know how that's going to go. Right? This is GMS Saints of the Most High. Amos 5:24, but let judgment run down as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. And that righteousness is going out. The word of the Lord, we in full gear. You know, the videos is coming out from the brotherhood, coming out rapid fire, living water flowing. But that judgment is also running down like waters too. You see? A lot going on in the earth. All right, so let's, damn, I thought maybe I would go back to the video with so much. GMS hereafter, Zephaniah 3 and 5. The just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. That's right. Servants of Yahweh, while Yahweh shy. 2 Ezra 15 and 5. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And you're seeing all that going on right now. Right? And another brother had put wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth. I don't remember where I saw it, but it's, man, y'all got so many scriptures here. Can't even keep up. Wow. Gabar Dama, Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. You know, and the main thing is this, with these rappers, they do so much talking about death in their videos, right? That power of the tongue. That death is coming upon them left and right. As a matter of fact, 2020, 200 rappers died. 2021, 250 rappers died. And now this year, you got a whole bunch more checking out left and right. So the Lord is doing his work. This is GMS through the fire. 2 Ezra 15 and 6. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. And you got a very abominable, wicked nature among our people, the Israelites. They're doing a lot of wickedness, man. And the Lord is he's already judging. He's going to bring a lot more judgment. So to water all the brothers for all the great scriptures. Damn. Whew. And there's plenty more on there. So we'll come back and read some more. We got more news to catch, more news to cover. So let's get into it. Let's see what else we got. Let me see. I got a couple of windows open over here. All right. So yeah. Let's play something else here. So we also got let's get a little more weather here. This is from NBC News. From NBC News, they're warning dangerous heat wave sets in across the U.S. From NBC News. It's only like 2 minutes long. Check it out.
The first week of summer shattering records as an unrelenting heat wave pushes into the southeast. Parts of Florida forecast to hit their first 100-degree day in 3 years.
I'm trying to survive the heat.
The same heat dome that buckled roads in Chicago killed thousands of cattle in Kansas. The extreme heat also contributing to the death of a 5-year-old in Houston.
Yeah, let's don't forget about all the cattle dying, right? Crops being messed up, drought. You know, different things going on. Wildfires out west. There's a lot going on. Let's go back a little bit here.
Hit their first 100-degree day in 3 years.
I'm trying to survive the heat.
The same heat dome that buckled roads in Chicago killed thousands of cattle in Kansas. The extreme heat also contributing to the death of a 5-year-old in Houston, left in a hot car for hours. The frequency of heat waves setting off a new federal framework to protect workers from the hazards of heat exposure. Expanded OSHA guidelines include building a tolerance to heat, drinking a cup of cool water every 15 minutes, with mandatory breaks in the shade to recover.
We're going to be doing proactive inspections in over 70 industries that we've identified where we have a high number of heat-related illnesses and fatalities.
How much harder is your work under these types of conditions?
Oh, it's real. It's just hot. This is hot. You got to take it easy, pace yourself.
At the University of North Florida, researchers are studying hotspots to set a baseline to shape future public health strategies.
By midday here in Jacksonville, you can see on this thermal camera surface temperature soaring to dangerous levels, like right here in this parking lot where there's absolutely no shade.
And experts say this offers a snapshot of disparities fueled by heat.
In higher income neighborhoods, you tend to have houses that are further apart, buildings that are further apart, and more tree coverage. In lower income neighborhoods, you have less tree coverage, and you have buildings that are closer together. And so that helps trap heat.
The heat heightening risks as the summer offers a preview of our new normal. Kathy Park, NBC News, Jacksonville, Florida.
You see it right there. So even if it is Esau trying to use his HARP device or using his direct energy weapons to mess with the heat, doesn't matter. The Most High controls these devils. Zakar Tazaiwan said it was 115 in Fort Worth, Texas. Elder Hawaii said it was 126 degrees in Iran today. Damn. Can you imagine that shit? 126 degrees. Woo. That's hot. And I have to admit it has been very hot, man, even here. Yep, one brother said stay hydrated, brothers. Yeah, you got to stay hydrated. Let's get something else. What else we got? Yeah, before we get into that, let's see here. Well, what is this one? We'll play that one in a minute. Let's get here. The coming famine. Don't forget about that.
Well, Biden says he's taking.
I don't want to bore you to death with this video because they do a lot of talking over here on CBS News. It says Americans struggle with rising costs as possibility of recession looms. And we know about that. Are they talking about famine, right? Recession, inflation, drought, pandemic. These are words that people are dealing with now.
The possibility of a recession is looming large as the Federal Reserve raises interest rates in the hopes of driving down inflation. President Biden's critics argue he is not doing enough to address the issue and say rate hikes could cause more economic turmoil. Let's bring in Rick Newman. He's a senior columnist for Yahoo Finance. Hey, Rick, good to see you.
Hey, guys.
So do you think that the president has taken a hands-off approach to the economy? What are the other ways to lower inflation beyond the actions of the Federal Reserve? If that is the criticism, what other things could the president be doing?
Well, Biden says he's taking a hands-off approach because he wants the Federal Reserve to be the organization that addresses this problem. And it is the Fed's job to address inflation. That is the whole reason we have the Fed in the first place, really. That is its main job. If Biden could do anything to make this situation better, he would absolutely do it. The problem is he can't. There's just very little the president could do by executive action, and there's not really very much Congress can do, even if it wanted to do pass laws or find a way to address inflation. This is just not an easy problem for politicians to solve. So Biden has basically said, look, this is on the Fed, and I think he's doing that for two reasons. Number one, he wants to make clear that unlike President Trump before him, he's not going to hector the Fed to do this or that. He's just going to let them work on their own. But at the same time, Biden is giving the message, even if it's subtle, this is the Fed's problem, not my problem. So I think he wants voters to say, well, maybe it's the Fed we should blame rather than the president. But I think a lot of voters are not picking up on that message.
So the whole thing is to the whole idea is to cool things off a little bit, right? And we are getting reports that Americans are pulling back on some expenses like restaurants, apparently travel, but I don't know. I mean, there was chaos at the airports. Everyone's expected to go for a drive this holiday weekend, so I don't know. But that's what some reports are indicating. So what I want to ask you is, I know that the idea is to not slow things down to the point where there's a recession, but could a small R recession be a good thing?
It could be a good thing for some people, but what happens during recessions is people lose their jobs. No matter how bad the recession is, some people lose their jobs. So there are always silver linings to recessions, even terrible ones. The last one, for example, took home values down 20 or 30% and made them a lot more affordable. So if you were a buyer back then, that was great. If you were an owner, not so great. What the Fed is really trying to do is engineer a so-called soft landing. So the economy slows but does not enter a recession, and that is sort of the optimal outcome for everybody. Now, whether it can do that, this is kind of a dark art. It's hard to know when to get this right because you make moves that you don't see the effects of them for months, and you don't know right. I mean, it's not like taking a digital picture where you can look at it right away and see if you need to take another one. Sometimes you don't know what the cause and effect is going to be for months. I will say that some of these things that sound like bad news are actually not such bad news. So, for example, people are buying less stuff, less goods, and as you pointed out, everybody wants to travel now. That is what we've been waiting for to happen. That is good news that that's happening, because during the pandemic, people were stuck at home. They spent way more money than usual on stuff, which is why one of the reasons we got inflation in a lot of goods, and they did not spend very much going out or traveling. So now that we're seeing those spending patterns shift back to what you could call something looks more normal, that is actually good news for inflation, because less demand will bring prices down.
As you probably heard, former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers said recently that increasing domestic oil supply could help lower gas prices. And the White House is considering a federal gas tax holiday. What would it take to get prices at the pump down?
The number one thing that would get prices at the pump down would be an end to the war between Russia and Ukraine. That accounts for most of the recent increase in oil and gas prices we've seen. That doesn't look like it's going to happen. So what else can we do? People here in the United States, I mean, people are very frustrated. I have conversations with people all the time. Why doesn't Biden do something? The government does not control the oil and gas industry here in the United States. This is in the private sector. And it's up to these companies to decide whether they want to invest the money to increase production more. And a lot of people don't realize this, but the oil and gas industry here in the United States got absolutely hit in 2020. All the companies that are now making really great profits, Exxon, Chevron, and so forth, they had record losses in 2020 because nobody was buying gasoline. I mean, demand cratered during the pandemic. So they did everything they could to cut capacity back then. And just because oil and gas prices are high for a few months or even a year does not mean they're going to stay high. And these companies that lost a lot of money back then, they simply do not want to invest the money now to increase capacity, because they think prices will just come back down and they'll end up losing money all over again. So we are seeing an increase in oil production here in the United States. It's ticking up. It's not really ratcheting up. So probably we're going to see a little bit of relief in the fall. And then maybe by next year, gas prices will be well under $5, back falling down toward $4. And of course, everybody would like to see gas prices with a 3 on the front rather than a 4 or 5. We might get there next year.
Yeah, that would be nice. It's going to be really hard for people to feel sorry for oil and gas companies, but you make a very good point about how much they lost in 2020. Rick Newman, thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
So, a couple of points. First, they're talking about the oil and gas. You know, you got a lot going on still over there. The dude said that could make the economy better was if the war between between Russia and Ukraine was to stop. Well, it ain't gonna stop. It's getting worse. It's intensifying, as you're gonna see in a few minutes when we play that, right? But also too, they talking about people traveling. Man, I rode through town on the way home from work today, and it's just like shit. It was like the weekend. It was Wednesday, but it was people everywhere down there by the beach. They was doing everything, just hanging out, playing music, you know, eating, drinking, doing what they normally do. They have no idea. It's like they don't even care about what's going on in the world. This is GMS Saints of the Most High. Jeremiah 50:38. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up, for it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. You see that? And that's talking about Babylon. And nowadays, Babylon the Great. And it happened before. It's going to happen in our time. Right? This is Karab Yasharallah, Isaiah 29:6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. And all those things that happened. Them earthquakes. There was an earthquake in Iran, killed 1,000 people and counting. It's going to get a lot worse. You see it? What else we got? This is Gabar Dama, Matthew 24:7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines. Yup. Pestilences. Yup. And earthquakes. Yup. In diverse places. Oh, Lord. Yup. All these are the beginning of sorrows. There you go. It's the beginning. We ain't even got into it yet. This is servants of Yahweh, while Yahweh shot Jeremiah 30:5. For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. The elect is going to be saved out of it. The rest of Jacob going to get ground up. Excuse me. Let's see here. This is Virgin Island Straight Gate, Psalm 17:13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy soul. And the wicked is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And you can see the New World Order crowd trying to further their plans. They got the American people thinking that inflation and climate change, all these different things they keep talking about, that a manufacturer, we know to be manufactured, but they got people afraid of a famine. And really the only thing that's going to happen is they're going to go cashless, and they're going to make all these people depend upon them to eat. And how they going to do that? By giving them that device. See, the Lord got everybody right there doing what he wants them to do. You got World War III at the doors. You got the MOTB at the doors. The weather patterns is all screwed up. The gospel being preached. Israelites waking up. And then the 2/3 is being rebellious as shit. Iniquity is growing on the earth, just like the Lord said. Everybody's, all the actors, to your places, everybody. The Lord's about to bring the grand finale coming up. And you got scoffers and them dudes that got kicked out. They just started their live camp. They labeled their camp, woe to you hypocrites. So they still ain't even repenting. But that's all right. The Lord about ready to flatten niggas. What else we got? Let's see here. This is hopefully late behavior. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. And they was just talking about it's going to be the end of the pandemic. And damn, before you know it, bad weather, earthquakes, climate change, judgment pouring out, death, right? World War III is at the doors, like we talked about. See, they can't get a grip on it. They try to get it together. The Lord bring something else. It says, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. That's right. That's right. Naquam, Ezekiel 7:25, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. And that's coming. People going to be seeking peace. They're going to be wishing for the days when they could take selfies and go on vacation and do TikTok challenges and do all this bullshit they doing. But hey, them times about to be, they're going to be far behind in your rearview mirror. You're going to be lucky if you get a can of beans to eat. GMS Saints of the Most High, Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, where thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Those times are coming, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, representing the understanding of men is going to be darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, when the chariots come, right? After that rain, that nuclear rain. What else? In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. And that's your economy shutting down. The grinders ceasing, jobs they're going to close up. Right now, there's a lot of hiring going on because people don't want to work. They get money by other means, but it's going to come a time where you ain't even going to be able to get no food like that, because the government, they going to do their part. This wicked government, they're going to do their part. You better believe that. This is basic wisdom. Job 14:5, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. And these people, these proud people of Babylon the Great, they think they're going to do what they want to do, but you can only go as far as the Lord allows you to go. And we can see your empire is winding down. CT, what is it called? CTD, circling the drain, as our apostles constantly say. GMS Saints of the Most High, Isaiah 19:14. The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. And this is speaking of spiritual Egypt, Babylon the Great. And they have caused Egypt to err in every vision, so like in every work thereof. As a drunken man staggereth in his vomit, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. Yeah, the economy is in bad shape. They keep on trying to, do little things to dress shit up. But the Lord is about to bring the pain. The Lord is about to bring the pain. Let's look at here. Let's go to the war front and see what we see. This right here is Russia and NATO and all of that.
Now, you know, on the one.
So let's start this over. This is from Salakia. This is from ABC News. It says U.S. stands by NATO allies as Russia ramps up attacks in Ukraine. We're gonna watch this. Check it out.
Russia is making more provocative moves in Europe as the U.S. attempts to reassure its allies in the region. Estonia, which is a member of NATO, is protesting what it calls an extremely serious violation of its airspace by a Russian helicopter, as well as simulated missile strikes by Russian troops on its territory. At the same time, Ukrainian forces are reportedly striking Russian positions on a contested island in the Black Sea, and multiple explosions have been reported in Kharkiv as Russia continues its assault on eastern Ukraine. So we want to bring in foreign correspondent Tom Sufi-Burridge. He is live in Kyiv, Ukraine, with more. Tom, let's start with those moves by Russia near Estonia. Just how provocative is this with these simulated missile strikes on NATO territory?
Trevor, given the war here in Ukraine, it's highly significant. Any breach by the Russian military of the airspace of any NATO state right now. Remember, those Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania, sit in the northeastern corner of Europe. They're former Soviet states. They joined NATO in 2004, a move which greatly angered Vladimir Putin and people close to him. Now, you know, on the one hand, that Russian helicopter reportedly only entered Estonian airspace for a matter of 2 minutes at the weekend. And in normal times, that type of thing could go largely unnoticed in the media. But given the tension, given the fact that NATO member states are arming and supporting Ukraine in its war against Russia, in its defense of this territory, it is highly significant. And that's why you're seeing very, very tough rhetoric from the Estonians within the last 24 hours, saying the threat from Russia is as serious as it's ever been.
Tom, I can't help but notice behind you, I mean, we have what appear to be tanks, people climbing over them, taking pictures. It's a reassuring image there in Kyiv, but we can't forget that this war is certainly still ongoing. So I want to ask about regional authorities who say Russia is actually in control of almost the entire Luhansk region in eastern Ukraine. What's the latest on the fighting that's going on there?
Yeah, Trevor, I mean, the calm here is quite sort of noticeable in the center of Kyiv. It hasn't ever been hit, but around the country, we're seeing Russia striking within the last 24 hours again and again, killing civilians in cities like Mykolaiv down in the south. And up in the northeast, the second biggest city of Kharkiv, it's been hit extensively within the last couple of weeks by the Russians, many civilians reportedly being killed. And in the east, Donbass, that's where the main fighting is still going on. And I think if we step back from the day-to-day, it's worth just pointing out to people that within the last 3 weeks or so, according to Western officials on a briefing I was on earlier in the week, Russia has not really made any significant gains there since the beginning of June. Now, so on the one hand, the Ukrainians are holding the Russians back to a large extent, even though the Russians have a massive advantage in firepower and in the numbers of troops. But on the other hand, the Russians are making incremental gains. Slowly, they are taking territory. And the critical question, I think, is whether or not Vladimir Putin will stop if, in the short term, he is able to take the whole of eastern Ukraine, the whole of the Donbass. I think most analysts believe no, he might pause, but the indications from Moscow over the last few months have been really that Russia wants to take much more of Ukraine.
That is alarming to hear. Tom Sufi-Burridge for us in Kyiv. Tom, thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube.
Yeah, so you know things are going to continue to heat up between America and Russia. They're going to continue to heat up between America and Russia. I want to play you this video. Let's see here. I haven't had a chance to review it yet. We're going to go to it in a minute. First, I wanted to play this because you got the American media. They're going to tell you lies about what's really going over there in Ukraine. They're going to try to keep spinning it like Ukraine doing a good job, but they're getting their asses tore up by the Russians. Russia killing up a lot of people over there. So this next video, excuse me, it's entitled Second American Killed While Fighting in Ukraine. This is from ABC News. And you got Americans actually going over there. They may have ties to Ukraine or something. They go in there trying to fight. And they're getting their asses killed. Check this one out.
War in Ukraine tonight. The U.S. now confirming a second American has died fighting in Ukraine.
And we've now learned where 2 other American veterans are now in captivity, are reportedly being held. The Kremlin tonight saying they could face the death penalty. The White House calling that appalling. Our foreign correspondent, James Longman, in Ukraine again tonight.
Tonight, the U.S. State Department confirming 52-year-old Steven Zabelski is the second American to be killed fighting in Ukraine. He reportedly died a little over a month ago. The first American to be killed in combat there was 22-year-old U.S. Marine veteran Willie Cancel. He died in April. It comes as Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov today refused to rule out that the 2 captured Americans could face the death penalty. The White House quick to respond.
It's appalling that a public official in Russia would even suggest the death penalty for 2 American citizens that were in Ukraine.
Alexander Druki and Andy Huynh, both from Alabama, are reportedly being held in the Donetsk region of eastern Ukraine.
Also tonight, David, U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland was in Ukraine today, pledging U.S. help to investigate and prosecute those responsible for alleged war crimes and other atrocities in this war. David.
All right, James Longman with us from Ukraine again tonight. Thank you, James.
Yeah, so as we continue on, the only thing that's going to happen is Ukraine keep getting beat worse and worse. What's going to wind up happening is there's going to be an outcry from the nations, from the American allies, to intervene over there. And eventually, the world going to have to get involved. It's going to be World War III, Lord willing. Lord willing. Now,
yes,
there's a video here from a site that Apostle Tahar talked about. You know, he recommended, and I went to it. And they kind of give you more of a rundown what's going on over there. We'll attempt to watch a little bit of this. It's from a site called Redacted. And it's entitled, "This is What Putin Really Wants. Pay attention." Now, we'll watch it in a minute. First, let's hit the comment board briefly here. Yeah, brother Gabar Dama said hooks. Because Russia, you know, the Most High put hooks in their jaws. You know, he's baiting them. And then, you know, don't forget about that big time gold. That big gold deposit Uganda just discovered. So, you know, the nations is licking their chops to get at it. See, right now, China and Russia them got the inside track on it. But you know America ain't going to stand for that. You already know that. So let's read here Gabar Dama and hopeful elect behavior, Revelation 11:14. The second woe is past, which represent the woes in Revelation, represent the world wars. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly. That's right. The third world war is right there at the doors. You can already see it. Let's see here. Hopefully elect behavior, Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Babylon is America, Babylon the Great. You had ancient Babylon, but now you also have today's Babylon, which is America, Babylon the Great, mystery Babylon. Jeremiah 51:7, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And who is this that made the whole earth drink of this wine? And this wine is the doctrines, the philosophies, the policies. America is none other than that Babylon, made all the nations to drink. See, from that different wine, that democracy wine. First and foremost, this is GMS, Debar Kabash, and Gabar Dama. This is Isaiah 13:19. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. What happened to it? It got burned up. And the same thing is coming again. This fire is coming for this place. The nuclear fire is going to come. See? Yeah, GMS and the Truth Orlando, I mentioned the other day in a lesson, 2 held captive and Russia sentenced 3 others that went to Ukraine to help fight against Russia, death by firing squad, you see? And that's going to be something. And you don't forget about, brother mentioned, Brittany Griner is still in prison over there. See? So it's a lot of things that could pop off. Now I want to go real quick. See, so what America's doing, they're going to make Russia out to be like these savages. They're making them out to be the bad guy. And they want the world community to see Russia as the bad guy. But if we go, I got a video right here from some time ago. a few weeks ago. Let me see if I can find it here. I don't see it. Where is it? Oh, here it is right here. This is some official. It says truth bombs on the U.S. and the West road with Ukraine. Watch all 2 minutes. You'll never see this on the Tell Live Vision. Listen to this shit.
People in Palestine are losing their lives, being raped and murdered. There's no cry from anybody, no passion. When the same thing happens in Syria, we hear nothing. When the same thing happens in Libya, we hear nothing. When the same thing happens in Iraq, we hear nothing. When the Ukrainians are violating the rights of other Ukrainians, particularly in the Donbass region, there's nobody crying for those people. What is the reason for that? What about India? Why is there nobody in this country raising the concerns of the Indian minorities, of the Christians and the Muslims whose rights are being violated by the Indian government? Nobody in this country is saying anything about it. Now, NATO went on and bombed many of the Russian allies. Russia could do absolutely nothing about it and stayed out of it. What did Russia say? Demilitarization. Stay away from my Russian borders. If you notice what has been happening since 1990, they are coming closer and closer and closer to the Russian border until they will make Russia so weak that Russia will have no other option but to give in to them. That is what it is all about. But who is the root cause of this whole problem? It is clearly the West and the United States of America that is the root cause of all the mayhem and chaos and destruction all over the world. Let's talk about the biological laboratories which is funded by the Pentagon in Ukraine. Where is it coming from? Why are they getting involved in those? Let's talk about the number of people that were massacred by the Ukrainians who have been detained without trial. Nobody has said anything about that as well. Okay, let's talk about the shelling of the hospitals and the schools and the massacre and the mass graves that were found in Ukraine. Nobody says anything about that. Now, what is Russia asking for? Russia is saying, stay away from my borders and stay away from me. All you have been doing, and remember, Ukraine is being used as a fool by the United States and the West, and they're falling into the trap like many other countries have fallen in the trap previously, and that's what it is all about.
Woo, you bringing fire out. And we know a lot of that to be true. It's so much that we don't know about what's going on over there. The American media, they ain't going to tell you everything, and then they try to what? They try to censor the shit out of us, you know? But, hey, as it says in the scriptures, let's go there. Babylon the Great is the source of a lot of damn blood, man. A lot of blood shed. Revelation 17, we'll start at verse 1. It says, and there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying, come hither, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Now, this great whore is America, Babylon the Great, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. And what is that wine? Their policies, their philosophies, their doctrines, from Christianity with white Jesus to Catholicism, because that's how they get you, you know, to democracy, to the LGBT, you know, I shouldn't have said it, to the alphabet soup, you know, alphabet soup community, to all these different things that they do, and they leave your country fucked up, or they get you into a bunch of mess. Now, if you go down to the bottom here, it says, verse 18, and you know what? No. We're going to jump in here at verse 10. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. That's when the nations turn against Babylon the Great, and Russia along with the nations going to nuke this bitch. For the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And everything's going to play to the to cater to the wants of the Most High. Everything is going to be prophetic. All prophecies will play out. The Lord is using Babylon the Great and the nations right? To fulfill what he wants them to have happen, like we went into the other day, or yesterday in the live stream yesterday afternoon at work. You see, this is how we know Armageddon is certainly going to happen. All nations are being used, but America is one of the main chess pieces, and Russia is also being used. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. So who reigns over the kings of the earth? Who telling everybody what to do? Well, Elam just told you. United States. The United States of America in the West. They're the main, it's the main place right here, man. Let's also go to Revelation 18, and you can easily read that whole chapter, but I want to go right to the point. Revelation 18, and I'm just going to go right to verse 24. I'll go to 20 first. Revelation 18 and 20. It says, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High hath avenged you on her. The apostles and prophets in heaven is back. The Israelites, right? And the mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. The Lord's going to cause this place to get destroyed. The great millstone represents the nuclear missiles is going to be thrown upon this place. Verse 24, and in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that was slain upon the earth. This place got a lot of blood shed on it, right? And you know what the scriptures say? The blood cannot be cleansed but by the blood of him that shed it. Let's try to go real quick. Let's see what the comment board got. Yeah, this is GMS Saints of the Most High. Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man. Neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire is hell, and is his death, and cannot be satisfied. A proud man transgresses by his trade, right? By his philosophies, his doctrine, his witchcraft. This is how he prospers, but he also transgresses by it. He neither keepeth at home. He's in everybody's country telling him what to do. Who enlarges his desire is hell, and is his death. He brings the conditions of death and hell wherever he goes, and cannot be satisfied. He's a plunderer. He's a robber. He's a murderer. But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And there's no debate about who that's speaking of. And they talking about no other nation of people on the earth other than these damn devils, man. You know who it is. Esau Edom, the so-called white man. You don't like it? Don't watch us, because it's the truth. It is the truth. And the Lord going to judge this man, I have to watch my words. The Most High is going to judge these devils. Gabar Dama, Nahum 3 and 1. Woe to the bloody city. It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. We're the prey. We ain't left here. We haven't departed this place. The bloody city used to be Nineveh. Now it's spiritual Nineveh. America, Babylon the Great. It's full of lies and robbery. They lie. They rob you. All these unrighteous decrees. The Lord will get rid of all of this shit. GMS Saints of the Most High, Habakkuk 2 and 8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. You did a lot of dirt, a lot of iniquity, a lot of wickedness, a lot of thievery. And you plundered nations. You spoiled, right? That's what they're known for, spoiling and stealing and destroying, killing. See? It's all throughout the scriptures. Gabar Dama, Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. You cover the whole earth with your wickedness. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is it? That's how you got white Jesus. That's how you got false imposters or imposters, right? I started to say the false JOOSs in the land of Israel. That's how you got them over there. The wicked did it. See? You can move into a land and take the land over and say you're the people. That's also how they cover you. Moving landmarks, changing the maps, changing the history books. The wicked is covering the faces of the judges even to this very day, still doing it. But the Lord is going to peel back the veil. He's already starting to do it. We know who these devils really are. Man, y'all killing it. Killing it. So let's get this last video if we can. Well, I'll tell you what, this is a perfect time to segue into this video. This is a short video. Look at these devils. What they doing to this young man? Hold up, Salakia.
Right here, buddy. Right here. Tell me what you.
I'm sorry.
Right here, buddy. Right here. Tell me what you were doing. Burning out, racing through my neighborhood. Burning out, racing through my neighborhood.
You not to.
Get out my face.
I'm not in your face. Get out of my neighborhood.
Who got a gun? Who got the gun?
The guy who's got a permit to carry it.
You got a gun?
You're the one that would get
All
a
right.
gun.
All right. All right,
Get
bet.
out of this neighborhood.
All right.
Get out of this neighborhood. You don't belong here.
What, y'all want to smash the window? Smash the window?
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
You smashed the window, huh?
Well, y'all driving like idiots.
Right here, buddy. Right here.
You see that? So Jake was just driving through their neighborhood, and they think that gives them the right to smash his car. Now, if he would have retaliated, one of them would have pulled out a gun and shot him. And they would have pretended like, you know, he was attacking them, and they was all there together to lie on the dude. Man, when the Most High turn these 2/3 Jakes loose, they're going to tear your asses up. And we ain't going to feel sorry for you. And there's going to be a lot of Jakes going to get killed up too. But we going to see in just a little while. That Jake, he knew better than to do anything because he said, who got a gun? Because if they wouldn't have had no gun, he would have beat the shit out of all of them. But it's all good. It's all good. I mean, it just make you mad just watching that, boy. Woo. And they thought it was a righteous thing to smash his window out just because he's driving through their neighborhood. Even if he was speeding. Y'all ain't cops. Who the fuck are you? Fast as white people drive, you ain't got nothing to say. I'm gonna go over here and try to bring this other video up. This is from Redacted. I don't know how much of it we're gonna watch. It's 11 minutes and 46 seconds. It says, this is what Putin really wants. Pay attention. So let's see what kind of info we can get. What kind of inside info?
The BRICS conference is unfolding right now in China. This is China's opportunity to really, present itself on the world stage economically. They've invited, of course, Brazil, Russia, India, and South Africa. That makes up the BRICS acronym, BRICS. By the way, do you like my graphic? I was, because now Vladimir Putin made headlines today.
Yes.
Major headlines there. So I said Putin on the BRICS.
Yes, I liked it.
Like my joke. So yes, Vladimir Putin there. It was really interesting moments. So this was this is the front page of Al Jazeera this afternoon. At BRICS Summit, China sets stage to tout its governance model. But this was, I think, one of the big takeaways. Take a look at this. This was the BRICS moment. Putin, BRICS alliance is developing a reserve currency based on a basket of commodities. This is a huge moment because, well, why?
Oh, for a lot of reasons. Because the U.S. dollar is still the default currency around the world for all trading, right? The U.S. dollar is not really backed by, is backed by really just a belief system. It's not backed by anything solid anymore.
Yeah, admit it. It's not backed by gold or silver. It's not backed by anything. It's just printing bills. It's all smoke and mirrors.
To be. And because if there now is a competing currency on the world stage that other countries can trade in, it will lower the power of the U.S. dollar. And also it will highlight the fact that the U.S. dollar is based on puffery.
So it was kind of an interesting moment to watch Vladimir Putin today talk about the economy. So let's just, you can roll some video here. I didn't put any sound on it. Here's the Vladimir Putin talking during the conference and making the point to have a strong world economy and that they are self-reliant. He went on to slam the West, calling the West printing. He said he made fun of the West talking about printing press. And he talked about the Western printing press and how the United States just continues to print as much money as it possibly can.
Guilty.
Let's see. So you can take my screen here, Philip, if you want. Let's see. He says, this is his speech. Let me see if I can find where he says. At the same time, what did he say here? He said, in this regard, I'd like to recall that our countries are home to more than 3 billion people. Together account for a quarter of the global GDP, 20% of trade, roughly 25% of direct investments are the BRIC countries. about 35% of the world reserves. Then he goes on to talk about, here it is, including the launch of the printing press. Entrepreneurs of our countries are forced to develop their business in challenging environments when the Western partners neglect the business principles of market economy, free trade, and in the inviolability of private property. They follow, in fact, an irresponsible macroeconomic course, including the launch of the printing press, uncontrolled emission, and accumulation of unsecured debts. It's quite a stick right to Western leaders who, United States, $30.5 trillion in debt.
Yes, and our politicians currently on a PR campaign to let us know that the inflation we are all experiencing has nothing to do with the out-of-control spending and decadence that the government has been on for, I wouldn't say decades.
He slammed
Do we know, just out of curiosity, what Russia's debt is?
No, I do not.
No.
I'd be curious to know like what their debt is versus ours. Like who has the right to actually say anything about that, you know?
Yeah. He does talk about the sanctions, though. He talks about the economically motivated sanctions. He says, at the same time, more politically motivated sanctions are continually introduced. Mechanisms of exerting pressure on competitors are further strengthened. There is intentional destruction of cooperation ties. Transport, logistic chains are destroyed. And all of this is contrary to common sense and basic economic logic. It undermines business interests on a global scale, negatively affecting the well-being of people, in effect, of all countries. And he says this economic slowdown, growing unemployment, shortages in raw materials and components is all a result of this, all a result of the sanctions.
Meanwhile, President Xi had this to say about Western nations. He said sanctions are a boomerang and a double-edged sword, right? Which is exactly what the West does not want us to believe, that sanctions will turn around and boomerang and hit us back. But we are experiencing it, right? This is exactly what politicians don't want us to even have an inkling of. Meanwhile, China has said that they do support Moscow's sovereignty, and the United States warned Beijing in relation to that they may end up on the wrong side of history. So you better believe that the United States and Western powers are looking at this BRICS conference, with one of those, like.
Well, think about this, right? So the commodity.
And this is the thing. China is in good league with Uganda. Uganda got the gold. Russia is a Chinese ally, right? So, and also North Korea and Japan. So you can easily see how this thing could go, and other African nations, because they showed that picture in the beginning of those leaders, and you had one African dude was there among them. Let's see if they're gonna show anything. I put the link up on the comment board so y'all can actually go there, and you should check out this page. They got a lot of good stuff over there when they actually start talking about the war and different things over there. Let's see here. I watched this one video one day. They was really giving you numbers about how many people over there you was really dying in Ukraine. It says World War III.
The United Kingdom.
Do that. It said World War III could be days away if this happens in Europe. That was from a day ago. So I gave you the link to the one video. You can just go to this page. It's a lot of stuff. UK gets ready for World War III. See? So a lot of things here. They're hiding the truth in Ethiopia, and it's getting worse. And Ethiopia is supposed to be, when you read it, what is it, Ezekiel 39? I think Ethiopia and Libya is mentioned along with those allies of the nations of what's it called? Gog and Magog. Anyway, let's see. I don't think we got too much else. Just gonna go to the comment board, hit that a little bit, and we're gonna shut it down. Now, to the individual white feather, if you're gonna put information up, make sure you put up correct info, because people watch this and they go and try to look it up, and they also repeat your errors. You got Shalom. It's not Shalom. It's Shalom with an M. Here you got Psalms 11:49 and Psalms 49 and 11. See, if you put up a comment, any brother, if you put up a comment that's incorrect, you're supposed to correct it. You don't leave it up there, right? Because these people that watch, they don't have experience, and a lot of them don't have the experience that we have. So you got to be careful. That's why we say if you're a new person, you're a new brother or sister, If you're a new brother, you should probably listen and take notes more than you try to, participate in posting stuff because you ain't got the experience. You should be taking notes. GMS North Carolina, Ezekiel 24:6. Wherefore thus saith the Lord power, woe to the bloody city. There it is again, the bloody city. To the pot whose scum is therein, and whose scum is not gone out of it. Bring it out piece by piece, let no man fall upon it. And this is the great melting pot, but the Lord calls it a pot full of scum. And it's going to be a melting pot because the Lord is getting ready to bake and destroy 2/3 of these niggas for their iniquity. This is Brother I'm Rayah. Yeah, it said also China is against Taiwan, right? And America is trying to be an ally to Taiwan, but Taiwan really is a Chinese territory. They should just take the shit back. Same way Russia is trying to take back their USSR countries, the former Soviet Union countries. China should just take Taiwan back. The same way North Korea should reunite with South Korea. The whole thing would just be Korea. See? That's that discord that Esau sowed among these different nations. Damn devils. Same as like South Africa. You got how is it that you got a continent of so-called Africans, but then in the southern tip is goddamn Edomites. People are devils, man. I'm Rayah, Romans 13:11, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. Right, we're very close to being delivered. A few more prophecies left, and the Most High gonna wrap this up. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. And the armor of light is just truth. You see? The gospel, the scriptures. Yep. Basic wisdom said this world is ready to flip over the scales. They're ready to, what's that scripture say? Because of unrighteous dealing, injuries and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. That's where we about to be at. This place about to be translated. So we're going to shut it down, brothers. I think we, did enough. We covered a great deal. Right? This one I tried not to go into the whole, I'm trying to get this thing to act right. I tried not to go into the whole NBC nightly news. Okay? Look at that. Because they weren't really hitting on nothing. I actually went on NBC nightly news and they weren't really reporting on nothing. They're trying to fluff us to death. Trying to give us that fluff. So I want to get something, more prophetic. Anyway, I think that's a good place to leave off. So many great scriptures on the comment board. I appreciate it. Don't forget about the earthquakes and all the stuff that the Lord is doing. Right? This was an article that I had. I can actually take it down. Afghanistan quake kills more than 1,000, injures 1,600. Don't forget about that. So much judgment going out on the earth right now. The Most High is doing a lot. See? So I think we'll end off right there. You know what? Let's go back here. So as a title of the video, hey, it's getting ugly out here, right? There she is, looking like a donkey. You see? It's getting ugly out here, and it's only gonna get uglier. Hard to imagine you could get uglier than that, but it is. It's gonna get uglier, man. Before it's over with, it's gonna be a lot more bloodshed, a lot more jakes dropping off the face of the earth, as well as these nations too. So all we can do is sit back and wait for the Lord, to continue to wake up more Israelites. And we praying for deliverance. We praying for mercy, and we praying for deliverance, right? So we're going to leave off right there. Let's go ahead and go back here to the page. So, yeah, thank everybody for joining in. All right, I appreciate all the scriptures the Brotherhood posted. Man, y'all did an excellent job. I really appreciate it. So, all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Holy Lakes. It's getting ugly out here. It's only going to get uglier. Shalom.